Well, we got Nitemirror here. Go ahead and introduce yourself and what you play.
My name is Nitemirror, and I play the guitar and everything else in my band, which is the drum machine. Sometimes I'll overlay a synth in there secretly, and noise also.
Why don't you give a little bit of history of how you started this project?
Okay. Back when I first moved to Lawrence, Kansas, I started my first band by the name of The Armory, and we did a pretty good job until my drummer moved away to go to a nice art school in Rhode Island, and so I didn't know what to do after that, and I decided that I was going to start doing more experimental music, and I started calling it Tired League, which later transformed into Nitemirror, but it was pretty much the same thing. And I came up with the name Nitemirror in 2013, and I will play under that name for the rest of my life.
So you said you played in The Armory. Is that, what kind of style of music is that?
Whenever we started the band, indie music was really popular, like The Strokes and Interpol. I was trying to find a version of that was still loud, because everyone turned their guitars down, and I still liked a distortion, so we kind of had shoegaze influence, but also just, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know.
So you played guitar in that band?
Yeah, we were a three-piece. We had a drummer, a bassist, and then I played the guitar and sang.
So how did you settle on Nitemirror? The name?
Well, it came to me somehow. I thought you always get your best ideas at night, and so I thought you're a reflection of the night energy. So that's what it means. I might overdub the rhythm on this part and the front part that sounds like this again, but everything else sounds fine.
So, what are some of your influences? I, listen to some of your stuff. It sounds very electronic and very punky,
I guess my biggest influences would be Nirvana. I really like Kurt Cobain, the way they writes music. I like his lyrics. I like Jimi Hendrix. He was the first person that I heard that I thought I wanted to play guitar after listening to the music that he played. And other than that, I could talk about a bunch of obscure bands for 20 minutes. I like stuff that is against and stands by itself and is completely unique.
Yeah, so how do you go about your writing process? Like, is there anything that you do to prepare for that, or does it just come to you?
What usually happens is I sit down with the acoustic guitar and I'll jam around until I get a riff, and then once I get a good enough riff, I come up with a melody, and then after I come up with the melody, I'll start writing the words, and sometimes I'll rewrite the words because that's what Kurt Cobain used to do. Other times I try to challenge myself. I've written songs, especially for this project, completely on synthesizer. I bought a sampler recently, and I've been writing music with that. I just released an album where I rap on it, and so I'm always trying to make myself uncomfortable and do something I've never done. Yeah,
that's always cool. So you were saying that you just got back from a tour. How did that go?
It was okay. I went to go play a festival in North Carolina, and I went from there to Athens, Georgia, to Louisville, Kentucky, to Evansville, Indiana, to Columbia, Missouri. And I almost broke even, which is good, and slept in my car a lot. I sold 2 CDs. And I didn't play to the biggest crowds in the world, but in Louisville, I had good shows no matter what. Like when you're playing in different places, the challenge is to put on your best performance no matter if people like you or not. And so you must do that. And
try to pull them in,
Yeah, and if not, drive them the fuck out. Like, I got to meet Goat Whore in Louisville. They were very nice, and got drunk with them, and they were really cool.
Yeah. So, do you have any kind of favorite band moment or whatever?
I've been very lucky to be able to play New York multiple times, and I guess maybe that. I've been on a few compilations overseas. I'm very lucky to have some of the success, I guess you could call it, which it isn't successful because people still don't know who I am, but they will at some point.
Yeah. Well, you run your own label, right?
Yeah, I have.
Tell a little bit about that.
I have an international label that I run out of my house. It's short run CDs, so I'll only do like limited edition 50 or limited edition 13, and it's kind of like a tape label, only they're CDs, because I mean it's hard to get a tape into your computer. And I'll hand make them all, and I'm only making a certain limited amount. Maybe if I have to reissue things, I'll change the way that they look and be completely different, but they're all hand numbered. I have a noise artist from Japan who just recently toured America. I have one of her albums that's amazing on there. A friend of mine in Zurich, Switzerland, who unfortunately is in prison right now. And I'm sorry I haven't written to you yet, but my heart's with you right now. I also have a video artist, Forever Midi, from Italy, who made my first music video for me. And I'm very lucky for him to do that for me.
So how did you find all these people?
The internet.
The internet?
Yeah.
And what is the label called?
Blind Wave Records.
Cool.
It's blindwaverecords.com. There's someone else that started using my name after I had already established my website, and they have like a YouTube Screamer page. But it is not that. I'm not doing commentary on video games. I'm creating culture for real.
Do you have any upcoming news regarding Nitemirror?
I'm in the process. Well, I just released a new album, Ghost Factory, which is what I'm promoting right now. I'm attempting to try to book a tour in the West Coast and play LA and those places. I've never been there before. And eventually, I'm trying to talk to some people in Europe about touring over there. But it's going to be very expensive and difficult. But it's what you have to do sometimes. Jimi Hendrix was ignored until he got over to Europe, and most people are.
Yeah. What are your feelings on the Lawrence music scene?
It has a scene, and it's very valuable because a lot of scenes disappear, and noise ordinances, which I know were passed here and really hurt the scene here back in the early 2000s, they're being passed over the cities across America, and it's destroying the artistic community that doesn't rely on the mass media. The mass media doesn't give a shit about you anyways. Like, they just promote what they're paid to promote, and so America's real culture exists in places like Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. And you play here in town pretty often, right?
Not as often as I'd like to, but yeah, I played the Replay not too long ago. I played the Jackpot not too long ago. Whenever I'm asked, I definitely play. I tried to get a show at Love Garden, but I don't know if Kelly liked it or if he even wanted me to play this. Yeah. Much love, I don't care.
So you have a lot of social networking, correct?
I try to. I'm not that good at it. I stayed off of Facebook for years until I realized I wasn't going to be able to book any shows. Like, you can book shows by the bar by emailing, but then there's the dates that fall through or the bars that don't like you, so you have to find out where the punk scene is, and the only way you're going to be able to do that is through Facebook, unfortunately. But I'm not good at it. I have, like, only 100 followers, and I don't put that much into it. I put more work into writing music, and so
and hoping other people find it. Or
I released an album, just released, and I was like, this is so good, people are just going to love it. And then it was just like, no one ever heard it. I had no idea I had to go do all this other shit. And I don't like that stuff. Yeah, I don't like that stuff, but I'm learning it, and I'm trying to do it, even though it takes away from making art, which is what I will just want to do. So,
how can people find your music?
Go to blindwaverecords.com or type in Nitemirror, Nitemirror, and you can find my stuff through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was searching your band name on YouTube, and I found you had a lot of music videos.
Yes.
And kind of like artsy kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm an oil painter and I'm an artist, and one of the reasons why I became a musician is because I really am a writer, but no one listens to poetry anymore unless it's put to music. So I thought I would be able to get into the culture faster if I was a musician, as opposed to painting and waiting until I was 70 for anyone to recognize me. And even then, where's your voice to tell people your opinion on society and whatnot?
Yeah.
Which mine probably doesn't matter, but I mean, I see some viewpoints that other people don't, so.
So the two songs for the comp, you know, is there any specific reason why you chose those two songs?
They're two of my favorite songs. One of them I opened all my sets with on this tour. The chord progressions are very unique, and I feel like they're uncategorizable genre-wise. So I wanted to give you some of my best work that I haven't recorded yet.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you for letting me be on this comp. I really appreciate it, and I don't know.
Yeah. Thanks for wanting to be a part of it. So
Totally,
we're trying
dude.
to get as many people on board as we can. So
Yeah, you're doing a really good job. I know how much of a headache it is to get anything together
Yeah.
because everyone's busy
doing their
getting
own thing.
drunk.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.